2.4 goes over inequalities. We can remember back from like elementary school with our inequality symbols, and the symbol just represents a greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to phrase. With these, again, in elementary school they taught you the alligator eats the bigger number. It's the same concept here. So you have these different symbols. That less than symbol will be open to the right. The line with underneath that symbol just means is less than or equal to. When there's that line underneath the symbol, it includes the number that comes after it. With your greater than, it'll be open to the left. And then again, if there is a, hold on guys. All right, so getting into this, we'll look at our first example. We're just determining whether these statements are true or false. So for A, we have -5 is less than 3. Obviously, any number that is negative is going to be less than a positive number. So this one would be true. For B, we have -9 is greater than -6. You got to remember with your negative numbers, the number that is further away from 0 is less than. So that -9 is further away from 0 than the -6. This would be false. The -6 is greater than -9. For C, we have -3 is less than or equal to 2. Again, any negative number is always less than a positive number, so this is true. And then for D, we have 4 is greater than or equal to 4. Because there's that line underneath that inequality sign and it is also equal to, this is true. For the next part of your lesson, you are graphing the inequalities. So for example 2a, we have x is greater than -5. So with these inequalities, as long as your variable comes first, your sign will tell you which way to draw your line on your number line. When we're writing the solution set as well, we want to use that interval notation that we started the year off with. So with example A, this x is greater than -5. Because it's greater than -5, it'll go to any number up to positive infinity. So you have two numbers that you're working with here, the -5 as well as the positive infinity. From here, because there's not a line underneath the inequality sign, there's going to be a parentheses on the -5, and then the infinity always gets the parentheses as well. So on your number line, you would find that -5. Because you do not have a line underneath the inequality sign, it's going to get an open circle on the -5. And then because the line, or because it's greater than -5 and it goes to infinity, you just draw your line to the right to represent the positive infinity. For example B, we have x is less than or equal to 2. So with this one, since it's less than that 2, we're going to go to negative infinity. So your two numbers that you're going to be working with here are going to be negative infinity and positive 2. Again, the infinity or the negative infinity always gets the parentheses on it. With this 2, because it is equal to this 2 as well, you're going to put a bracket on that 2 because it includes it. So on your number line, you'd find the 2. Because your inequality sign says that it's equal to that 2, you're going to have a closed circle on that 2, and it goes to negative infinity, so your line will go to the left. All right, so our next part of this is actually solving and graphing these inequalities. So we're still getting this x by itself, just like we were dealing with the equations and solving these equations, except now you're just graphing it and taking it one step further. So with example 3a, we have 2x minus 7 is less than -1. We add that 7 to each side, and we have 2x is less than 6. Then we just divide each side by the 2 and get that x is less than 3. Again, if your variable comes first in your inequality, easy way to graph it, your line tells you which way to draw your line on your number line. Your inequality sign tells you the way to draw your line on the number line. So on the number line, you'd find that 3. This is not equal to 3, so we're going to have an open circle in the 3. The sign points to the left, so we draw our line to the left. For example B, we have 5 minus 3x is less than 11. So we're going to start by subtracting this 5 from each side. We get negative 3x is less than 6. Now with this, you're going to divide each side by that negative 3. And your rule when you are dividing or multiplying each side of the inequality by a negative is you flip the sign. So this is going to be x is greater than negative 2. So our sign flips because we divided each side by that negative number. On your number line, you'll find that negative 2. We're going to have an open circle on it. Our sign points to the right, so our line is going to run to the right. For example, C, we have 6 minus x is greater than or equal to 4. So again, we're going to start this one by subtracting the 6 from each side. We get negative x is greater than or equal to negative 2. We then divide each side by that negative 1 to make x positive. We flip this sign, so x is less than or equal to positive 2. On our number line, we find the 2. Because this is equal to, we put a closed circle on the 2. Our sign points to the left when x comes first, so our line's going to run to the left. Next we have example 4a. We have 8 plus 3x all over negative 5 is greater than or equal to negative 4. We're going to start this one by getting that negative 5 to the other side, so we're going to multiply each side by that negative 5. Again, we've switched this sign since we are multiplying each side by that negative, so we're going to have 8 plus 3x is less than or equal to positive 20. From here, we just subtract the 8 from each side. We have 3x is less than or equal to 12, and then we divide each side by that 3, and we have x is less than or equal to 4. On our number line, we're going to find that 4. We have a closed circle on that 4. And our line runs to the left because our inequality has that variable that comes first, and our sign points to the left. For example, B, we have 1/2 x minus 2/3 is less than or equal to x plus 4/3. So I want to get rid of my fractions and multiply this entire inequality by the least common denominator, which is 6. So I'm going to distribute this in, multiply the 6 by 1/2 x, that's 3x. 6 times negative 2 over 3 becomes, the 3 would become a 1, the 6 would become a 2, so 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, is less than or equal to 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times 4/3, that 3 would become a 1, 6 becomes a 2, 2 times 4 is 8. So we're working out this 3x minus 4 is less than or equal to 6x plus 8. I'm going to start by subtracting the 6x from each side. So I'm going to have negative 3x minus 4 is less than or equal to 8. I add that 4 to both sides. I get negative 3x is less than or equal to 12. And then I divide each side by that negative 3. I flip my sign, and x is greater than or equal to negative 4. On my number line, I'm going to find that negative 4. I'm going to have a closed circle on it. My inequality, my variable comes first. My sign points to the right. My line runs to the right.